What's up, guys? Devilor here with Game 2 of Spacek versus Newborn. We have Newborn spawning as the yellow Zerg on the north position here on Metalopolis, and Spacek spawning as the blue Protoss in the south position. Now, a couple things I want to mention about this particular series that was played. This is from the semifinals of the Kaze Lore SC2 Tournament that was going on in the TankSpot donor forums. At this point in the tournament, we bumped it up to a best of 5. So this is just game 2. Spacek is down 1 game, but it was a loser pick tournament. He chose Metalopolis. Probably the most balanced map in the current map pool, I'd have to say. A lot of players feel very comfortable on this map, as all races. So definitely a good choice. I do think in these cross positions that gives Newborn a little bit more of an advantage than Spacek would like, just because it tends to push the game into a long, drawn-out macro fest, and Zerg is, well, they're very, very good at macro. It's a very good race if you like to macro. So yeah, Spacek chose Metalopolis. Still a good idea. Still always good to choose a map on which you are comfortable. So Newborn doing a little bit of scouting action. Now, I'm interested. Skyborn is going to spot that Overlord there. I would imagine that he would then immediately go over. Yeah, it looks like he's heading right over. It's a normal scout path anyway, but sometimes you can spot those overlords and get a little bit of an idea on where exactly your opponent is. And it looks like Newborn doing a little bit of scouting action as well. Probably going to have a pretty good idea that his opponent is going to be down here. And I see a double gate coming out from Spacek, completely walling himself in. This is interesting. Probably means he wants to... Okay, maybe not completely walling himself in. It looked like a complete wall off, but then that drone just slid right through with no problems whatsoever. So either way, it looks like Spacek wanted to do a complete wall in. Doesn't look like he quite managed it. And he's going to be able to do a whole lot of early... Excuse me, a whole lot of early Zealot pressure. We do have Newborn dropping down an expansion and then his spawning pool. It looks like he's getting a gas up as well, so Newborn will have to probably go for roaches as quickly as possible to be able to hold this off. It is very tough to do early Zerg pressure as Protoss versus Zergs anymore, just because of how strong roaches have become. So I don't know that I particularly like that, especially after spawning these positions that he's in, but we'll just have to see how it works out for him. It is only game 2, like I said. If he does end up losing this game, then it still will go on to a game 3, and he will be able to come back. It will just be a pretty tough position at that point, because he will have to win 3 games in a row to be able to do it. Cybernetics core going down for him. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the production tab here. It looks like the spawning pool and the lair, or excuse me, the hatchery here are just now finishing for Newborn. And yep, there's his roach warren going down to be able to deal with any early zealot pressure that comes out. This drone poking around here. If I had to make a guess, yep, there's that spine crawler. A lot of Zergs just love getting one quick spine crawler up just to be able to do some early defense. Now it looks like Spacek is not actually making use out of these gateways, which is kind of weird. If you're going to make 2 gateways that early, it's always a good idea to actually use them. Otherwise, you're just wasting your money. And like with the 200 minerals that he's got sitting in the bank right now, and this one gateway here, he actually could have just had an expansion up. So yeah, looks like he's just not going to use one of those gateways. All right. Up here we see some roaches are starting to pop out for Newborn, or are in production at least. He does have a handful of Zerglings. He's almost definitely expecting early Zealot pressure at this point, so it is kind of working out in Spacek's favor. He is having to use a few more units, or excuse me, a few more larvae on units than he would have wanted to use. He's having to make more units than he would have been able to make drones. There, got it out of there. That's what I was trying to say that whole time. He wants to be able to make as many drones as possible, but since he feels as though there is some pressure coming, even though he is keeping control of this Xel'Naga watchtower, he should be able to see it coming. Instead, he just wants to make a few units to make sure he's not going to immediately lose to something. So chrono boosting the warp gate research, as well as a zealot and getting some stalkers, getting a mix of zealots and stalkers up, and going for this robotics facility. So it looks like he's going for a similar build than what he had last game in terms of the mid game. Or similar build to what he had in the last game, I should say, but going for a little bit more focused of a, just a little bit weirder of an opening, going to that gateway before the cybernetics core. You see these Zerglings wanted to poke up in there a little bit. He did block that wall off with his one zealot here, and now it looks like he's going to move out and see if he can't take on a couple of these Zerglings. And of course, these zealots will mop those up, no problem, if Newborn does not pull away, which he does. He did lose one Zergling, though, which is not the biggest loss in the world, but I firmly believe that every Zergling matters. So yeah, let's not be racist against Zerglings here. Getting some creep spread up, always very, very good. And he's going for the Immortals again. Now, Immortal Stalker Templar has been a very, very... He has apparently decided he does not want that gateway at all. And has mutiny. Okay, I guess gateways are just not cool anymore. So he decided to kill that one. I am completely... maybe he just... he felt like he couldn't get the Immortals out of it. Maybe that's what it is. He just wanted to make sure you could get the Immortals out of his base. Because they are kind of large. I don't mean that. I don't mean to be rude, Mr. Immortal here. Everybody loves you. But yeah, like I was saying, Immortal Stalker Templar has become a lot more popular against Zerg lately. The only problem with it is that it doesn't deal as well with Mutaling, specifically with the Ling portion of Mutaling. So we'll have to see how well it does. It looked like it was what he was trying to do last game and wasn't completely able to pull it off. Specifically, he was not able to get to the Templar phase of the game. He does have this Forge going up this time, very important, wants to get as many upgrades as possible. Newborn completely dominated him in terms of upgrades last game, and it looks like he hasn't quite started on his upgrades yet this game, but he does have a good economy running. He's got a handful of roaches here to be able to block anything off. And it looks like, yeah, we got a little bit of motion coming out here from the bottom end. A handful of Zealots, a couple Stalkers, and a couple of Immortals. He is getting very, very split up. This one Stalker is very dangerously trotting off into uncharted territory all by his lonesome, while the rest of his friends tag along in the back. But looks like he's going to go ahead and regroup there. Looks like he wants to make a push. I'm not... yeah, this actually could be a pretty effective push. There's not a ton of units up, and it's only roaches. Okay, never mind. There are now a ton of roaches up, so not the greatest looking thing. And of course, I don't know if he realizes this, but Newborn can actually see him the entire time that he's on his creep. So if he wants to make a move, now would be the time to do it. And here he goes. He's going to move in. He's going to try and target fire that Spine Crawler, and it does go down, but these roaches are completely chewing through those Zealots at this point. The Immortals are doing as much damage as they can, but unfortunately there's only so much that 2 Immortals can do against a whole ton of roaches. What is that? That's 11 roaches, something ridiculous like that. This Immortal has apparently decided he does not want to retreat. He will stand ground, never give up, never surrender, and then die horribly. Farewell, Immortal. You will be missed. So in the midst of that, we do have an expansion coming up for Spacek. Very, very good play. If you're going to make a poke, be sure to make some good come of it. Fortunately, he lost a lot of his units, so that puts it in kind of a scary position. Going to be tough to defend this if Spacek, or excuse me, if Newborn decides to move out. He has a lot of units. I'm going to go ahead and pull up the unit tab here. Yeah, 26 Zerglings and 11 Roaches. That's going to be tough when all you have is 6 Stalkers to be able to deal with it. So, well, hopefully he just doesn't move out. Hopefully he decides that he wants to sit back in his base and macro up. Oh, excuse me. I would like to see an expansion coming up for Newborn, to be honest. He can almost definitely afford it at this point. Honestly, you can take this base here, no problem, but I'm not going to harp too much on their individual decisions. Look like he's getting some Hydralisks up, and by some I mean exactly 2 Hydralisks are up, and he's starting to research on the upgrade as well, the upgraded range. And yeah, just falling back into, looks like he wants to go Roach Hydra this game. Now, Roach Hydra is pretty much what Immortal Stalker Templar is designed to deal with, so it would be a much more better option. Yeah, there we go. A much better option for him to go for Mutaling, I think, but I'm not a Zerg player, so I will let Newborn do whatever he likes. If we go back into the production tab here, we see Charge coming up here at the, there it is, the Twilight Council. We see more Immortals coming out, and a whole mess of upgrades coming up for Newborn. He's got 2 evolution chambers going, getting Zerg Carapace level 1 and Missile Attacks level 1, so he wants to very, very much push that Roach Hydra. He's getting the increased movement speed for Roaches, and he's just about to finish the increased range on the Hydralisk. So he's going to have a very, very scary force, and throwing some, there it is, some Zergling speed in there as well, just to make sure every single unit in his arsenal is operating at full capacity. Still really wish he would drop down an expansion. I think that would help a lot if he dropped down an expansion, but whatever. He would be able to produce more units, and more units are always good. But I'm not gonna, I'm actually kind of glad that he isn't, because I like Protoss, and I kind of want Spacek to win this one. I don't know about you guys. I'm gonna show a little bit of observer bias there. Finally, Templar Archives coming up for Spacek. He's going to be getting that very, very crucial Psionic Storm much shortly after that. He has his Forge up, and he does have ground weapons level 1, so that'll help these out a little bit. But he really needs to be keeping up with those upgrades as much as possible because, like I said in the last game, the upgrade. Wow, that's a lot of photon cannons. The upgrade war versus Zerg is such a big deal in this matchup. Expansion finally going down for Newborn, thank God, and he is in fact massing up a good amount of roaches and hydralisks. Storm is about a third of the way completed over here for Spacek. His Overlord's going to come in, and he is going to be able to spot that right away. He sees the, especially the Chrono Boost. He knows that Storm is coming very, very soon. If I'm Newborn in this position, I want to move out very, very soon. He's sitting on a very, very good army mix. And there he sees the entire army. He did, in fact, lose that Overlord, but wasn't the biggest deal. And yeah, here he goes. He knows that he needs to move out soon if he wants to be able to deal with that, what's it called? Psionic Storm. Man, I'm bad at words today, but he's gonna move out here. It looks like, I don't know why this drone is coming along for the ride. Maybe just to test the front. But okay, he's just gonna sit there and make sure the gold minerals stay gold. All right, do have a handful of Templar now out for Spacek here. Will help immensely against this unit composition, but there are a ton more Zerglings and Hydralisks coming out for Newborn up here. Every cocoon has, I guess there's one drone in production. Everything else is Zerglings and Hydralisks. So, yeah, he's gonna, looks like he's finally going to go ahead and move out here, sending the Zerglings around the back side while the Roaches and Hydralisks move up the front side. And he's checking down here for an expansion. Doesn't see anything, but Spacek's going to be able to spot those Zerglings with that one pylon that's placed there, but it's unfortunately a very, very large force here from Newborn. This does not look good for Spacek at all. He's going to charge in with the Zealots. They're going in there, but getting torn apart by that Roach Hydra mix, and now the Speedlings come in from behind. They're going to do a complete surround. Oh no, storming his own units. Ugh. Oh, that hurts. That hurts to watch. So he tried to kill off those Speedlings. He did, in fact, manage to kill off the Speedlings, but unfortunately, I don't think these cannons and these two Stalkers are quite going to be able to hold this off. And there's the GG. I'm going to go ahead and quit out, and Newborn is apparently going to continue. There we go. He's going to continue killing as much of his base as possible just to make sure he doesn't come back. So yeah, I think that could have gone a lot better if those storms were not on his own units. I don't know, a lot of Protoss seem to not realize that that does actually damage your own guys. So generally not the best thing to use against Zerglings that are surrounding you. Let the Templar kill the Hydras and the Roaches in the back, and use your units to kill the Zerglings. So that puts Spacek down, or excuse me, puts Newborn up, I should say, 2-0 in this series. We're going to go on to a Game 3, see if Spacek can come back and bring this back together for the win, or if Newborn is just going to take it 3-0. I'm going to jump right over there right now. I'll see you guys in just a second.